Clive Wearing was a prominent English musician and musicologist. He was a specialist in Renaissance composers and had edited many volumes of their works. He played concert piano and organ, and he sang tenor. In his mid-40s, he had built a successful career with much promise still ahead of him. And then in March of 1985, he contracted a virus and a subsequent brain infection which left him with irreparable brain damage. He had anterograde amnesia, the inability to create new memories or retain anything beyond a few seconds. And he had retrograde amnesia. He could not remember many parts of his past. In total, Clive Wearing had the worst case of amnesia ever recorded. When he is asked a question, he will answer, but by the time he has said a sentence, he has forgotten that any question was ever asked. His wife, Deborah, describes it this way. His ability to perceive what he saw and heard was unimpaired. He did not seem able to retain any impression of anything for more than a blink. Indeed, if he did blink, his eyelids parted to reveal a new scene. The view before the blink was utterly forgotten. Each blink, each glance away and back brought him an entirely new view. It is a painful way to live. Every moment he is unaware that any have come before. He is convinced he has just woken up. But it's not without its wonders. Deborah once found him holding a chocolate bar in his hand, covering and uncovering it with the wrapper. Though he could feel it unmoving in the palm of his hand each time he uncovered it, he said, "Look, it's new." He couldn't take his eyes off it. "It's the same chocolate," Deborah replied. "No, look, it's changed. It wasn't there like this before." He covered and uncovered the chocolate bar again and again, lifting and looking. "Look, it's different again. How do they do it?" But there are two things that Clive remembers. He remembers Deborah. He does not always know her name, but he always knows he loves her. He sees her and his eyes brighten up, often several times in a short interaction. Somewhere deep beneath the damage the infection caused, his love for his wife remains unabated. The other thing that brings Clive back is his music. It was a passion he and Deborah shared together. Sit him down in front of a piano and he can play almost anything you put in front of him. The melodies of Bach or Beethoven bring a smile of familiarity to his lips, but only as long as his fingers are touching the keys. When he lifts them, it's gone. Deborah described discovering this when his condition was still fairly new, that the music remained within him. They were still in his initial hospital stay. She writes, "I picked up some music and held it open for Clive to see. I started to sing one of the lines. He picked up the tenor lines and sang with me. A bar or so in, I suddenly realized what was happening. He could still read music. He was singing. His talk might be a jumble no one could understand, but his brain was still capable of music. When he got to the end of the line, I hugged him and kissed him all over his face." Clive could sit down at the organ and play with both hands on the keyboard, changing stops, and with his feet on the pedals as if it were easier than riding a bicycle. Suddenly we had a place to be together, where we could create our own world away from the ward. There is still music inside of him, untouched by his condition. When he plays, he is himself again. Music is a powerful tool of memory. All of us know the profound feeling of hearing a song on the radio and being transported back decades to another time and place. Suddenly we're standing at a high school dance or listening to the radio with our father or crying over a breakup in our bedroom. Music transports us. I know that music is the most important part of any service. For the most part, people will not leave humming my sermons. But the songs, the old ones that bring familiar warmth and the new ones that bring astonishing insight, these are what will touch our hearts. It's the melodies we will remember. They will write themselves indelibly on our souls. At the end of his life, Moses has some last advice to give. As the book of Deuteronomy concludes, Moses will offer a blessing to each tribe and then go to the mountain to be with God. But before he does that, in Parshat Ha'azinu, he gives his final address to the people. He wants to gift his people with one last morsel of the wisdom he has gained across a lifetime. And he wants them to hear him, to remember what he teaches them long after he is gone. So instead of speaking, he sings. He offers them a song. As the late Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks writes, when the soul longs to break free of the gravitational pull of earth, it modulates into song. When Moses opens his song, he sings it like this. May my teachings drip like rain. Let my words flow like dew, like showers on new growth, like droplets on the grass. He wants his words to nourish the people, to give them hope and sustenance, like the rain feeds a thirsty earth. He wants his words to be sweet and refreshing on their lips, so that it is a song they can sing when he's gone. His gift to them, his final gift, is a melody that might sustain them through all the days that lie ahead, the joyous days and the hard ones. Our loved ones who are no longer with us had a song that they sang in life. It was the essence of their souls. It was the lessons they taught us about who they were and who we could be. Like Clive Wearing's piano recitals, those melodies linger unfazed by illness and memory loss. Like Moses' song to his people, they stay with us long after the singer is gone. And we too are singing a melody in our lives. Each song is unique with its own harmonies and rhythms. And each song adds beauty to the lives of those to whom we sing it. And we know that they will remember our songs and sing them when we are gone, just as we come here today to remember those who sang before. The rabbis counted 10 songs in the Hebrew Bible. There's the song the Israelites sang in Egypt, the song they sang at the sea, the song they sang when they found water in the wilderness. There's a song that Joshua sings, songs that Deborah and Hannah sing. King David was known as the sweet singer of Israel who played chords that soothed Saul and psalms that pleased the Lord. And there's one song we do not know yet, a messianic song whose melody will be a gift to a world that is redeemed. The melody, like that messianic world to come, remains unwritten, unsung. There are songs we know, songs taught to us by our ancestors, and there are melodies of hope for a future we do not yet know, songs of possibility, songs of tomorrow. In her 2005 book, Forever Today, a memoir of love and amnesia, Deborah reflected on 20 years of Clive's illness. In it, she describes watching her husband play a song this way. The momentum of the music carried Clive from bar to bar. Within the structure of the piece, he was held as if the staves were tram lines and there was only one way to go. He knew exactly where he was because in every phrase there is context implied by rhythm, key, and melody. It was marvelous to be free. Unlike Clive, we may have a myriad of thoughts and concerns to distract us, but down at our core, we are just melodies and memories of those we have loved. We come here for this service of Yizkor to tune out those distractions and listen for a while to the melodies within. Victor Zuckerkandl was an Austrian Jewish philosopher of music. He wrote, "The hearing of a melody is a hearing with the melody. It is even a condition of hearing the melody that the tone present at the moment should fill the consciousness entirely, that nothing should be remembered, nothing accepted or besides it be present in consciousness. Hearing a melody is hearing, having heard, and being about to hear all at once. Every melody declares to us that the past can be there without being remembered, the future without being foreknown." Or, put another way, Deborah Wearing once reflected to a friend, "Clive's at-homeness in music and his love for me are where he transcends amnesia and finds continuum. not the linear fusion of moment after moment, nor based on any framework of autobiographical information, but where Clive and any of us are finally where we are who we are. We're here today to live in that space between past and future, that space between known and unknown, that space where we can hear the melodies deep within and honor the people who sang them into us.